When I travel to see our work around the world, I do see some of the worst situations the world ever sees. There could be disasters such as floods and earthquake and war, but the thing which is the most severe and the most common are the invisible disasters. And that's what makes me the most mad. It's when there's suffering that goes on in grinding poverty, where there is disease, lack of fresh water, malnutrition, lack of jobs, lack of hope, and where poverty just takes a stranglehold of people's lives. There was a war situation where people were starving and there was panic everywhere, and with the help of UN protection, we were there to bring several truckloads of food supplies, and we were in a village which was in very severe need. And as we walked around in a chaotic situation, there I found what I thought was a pile of rags on the ground. It wasn't a pile of rags, it was a child. And it's a girl, and her name is Walia. And I looked down and listened and noticed that she was breathing. We raised her to sit up. She'd been walking for some days to try to get some medical help, and she just collapsed. It was about noon on a hot day, and she just fell over. She was a matter of yards, a few meters from a small clinic where there was food and water available. And she would have died had it not been that I just spotted her.
I was on dialysis for 4 years, and that meant 3 times a week. That took about 8 hours in those days. It was all a bit primitive then. The really hard times was when that kidney failed and I needed to go back on dialysis. And I think by then there was more wear and tear on my body, and then after a couple of years of doing this dialysis again, I had cancer. It was almost like, 2 life-threatening things. I can't cope with it, and physically it was more difficult, but also emotionally. I got quite depressed in the process, and didn't want to live.